I mean, they've been great. It really hasn't come up. I think for me, it's been a benefit for me, the experience, just kind of this understanding. I've kind of cultivated this passion, and it's gave me a new perspective being in college for a while. And I think teams are kind of starting to recognize that. And obviously, you see guys like Stafford and Brady and Rodgers and guys playing in their prime, well into their late 30s and getting MVP. So that's obviously would be my goal, is to play as long as I can. And I think if anything, it's given me that advantage.
To kind of go off that, you've had a long career, as you mentioned, it's been ups and downs. Just how thankful are you to be able to still play football? What is your college journey kind of entail?
I mean, I think you come into college, a lot of guys in high school, you want to go 3 and out, and you go to the league and have an illustrious career. And I would be lying if I didn't want that as well coming out. But I think this has been the greatest thing for me, like I said, because it's given me a new perspective. All this stuff is just bonus to me. Like this wasn't necessarily in the cards. So I think for me, I always knew I was talented, and I had the work ethic and passion. But I think you got to trust in God's timing and understand that it's going to happen on its own, and it's going to happen in the best way for you. So I think you have to get injured and have to go through some things, because all these things can happen in the NFL, and have success and have failure. So I feel really mentally equipped, quite honestly, for that. And I think it's made me who I am today, and I'm really thankful for it. Every step.
Tyler, can you talk a little bit about the Browns' offense and just how it prepared you through it?
Yeah, 100%. I think that they do an incredible job just preparing the quarterback every single week. And I think the biggest thing for me and why I wanted to go there was how much they put on my plate. At the end of the year and really through the start of the year, and how I earned that right was just handling the entire run game. Having 4 or 5 different calls at the line of scrimmage. Having every single kind of pass game. You got pure progression, RPOs, deep shots down the field, wide zone, boot out play action. And I think for me, just going under center 50% of the time, something that I hadn't done in my career, and a lot of guys haven't coming in the NFL. So kind of getting those kinks out, honestly, and growing and getting better. So it was a lot of fun just playing for them.
If you could point to one tape from this past season showing NFL scouts when they get to the next level.
You said one tape? I think every single game highlights what I can do, honestly. I think, win or loss, I'm going to try and put my team in the best position to go out there and get a win. I think you can, on tape, you'll see different arm angles. You see rolling out of the pocket. You'll see the athleticism. I think more than anything, what's hard to see is the hitting yards, and that's what I was, referencing before. And those checked run plays, getting into new pass plays, and trying to get us in the best position pre-snap and then adjusting post-snap. And I feel like I can do that, with my athleticism.
Tyler, the NFL might consider your age a negative. What do you say?
I don't think the NFL considers it negative. I haven't heard any questions about it thus far. So I think I consider it a positive. I think quarterbacks play well. I think better into their 30s. I think it's kind of shown up time and time again. And you see guys like Bo Nix and Michael Penix and Jaden Daniels who've kind of gone through some stuff in their college career, and they've had success early on. And obviously you got guys like Sam Darnold who's playing really well right now. And he's, into his late 20s, and, Rodgers and all these guys. And I feel like as time gets going, you only mature and get better as a thrower. I think that's just a question mark, and that's really what I wanted to answer coming here, was that, I only had, really 2 broken bones, and, I've never had any knee or back issues. And I think the timeline really just sucked more than anything, just kind of the early on in those games and, missing time. So I had a broken collarbone in 2021 that I didn't get surgery on, and then the first time I got hit again, it broke. So that was that first game. And once I got surgery, I was back running quarterback counter and power, and it hasn't affected me since. And then I got hip dropped, and so there wasn't really anything I could do to prevent it. But if anything, like I said before, it kind of helped me out mentally and how to be a coach and add value off the field and still try and be a leader. So. Yeah, it was like an infamous shoulder injury. It was just a broken collarbone. No, it was my left one. So that's once I kind of, tell teams, man, it was a broken collarbone, and, I didn't ever get surgery or do any rehab on it. And then once I got surgery, it was fine. So that's all I've ever really had. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, like I said in the run game, so we start off in, shot doubles right, 16 alert, and we can go to blue Oz or, North Bruce or a different form of power or counter. So, whatever the front's presenting, we're going to get to that. And if they're loading the box, then we can check to a man answer. So, and then if we have longer wordy play calls in the huddle, we can get to a simpler run check or something like that. But a lot of the pass game, evolved. And I think what really is great about Coach Braum is that he's a master of all things. And I think you have to know football coming into it. That way you can excel. And, I obviously the footwork and everything like that, I definitely had to get better at first, only being in shotgun. So really a lot of credit to them and how they've, propelled me. I'm sorry? I'm not commenting on individual teams, but I do have a bunch of 5 or 6 30 visits set up, and then had quite a few formals so far, yeah.
I wonder whatever happened to the days of 6'5" pocket wasn't top 10 pick. Like,
yeah.
It's like 5'10" maybe if it's kind of close.
I mean, I think obviously anybody any size can play, but I think for me, I feel like I check all those boxes for teams, and like you said, the media knocks on me are the age and injury history, and I think once teams understand that, one, I think the age and experience is a positive, and two, the injury history isn't really an injury history. It's just I had a couple broken bones and it hasn't affected me. And I think for anything, it's helped me out. So once I explain that to them and they kind of understand it, and I think you go through that, especially coming in as a rookie, and not being scared of the spotlight and not being scared of adversity, and try not to make mistakes. I think more than anything, I feel confident in that. Oh, I got hip drop. I broke my fibula. Yeah, so every time I tried to play the next drive on it, which was probably not smart. So after I broke my collarbone the second time, I played the rest of the drive because I knew what I did and couldn't believe it. And then I got hip dropped. I thought it was a high ankle, but it was a broken fibula. So I stepped to throw and it wasn't working. But obviously, huge credit to Texas Tech and the trainers there and at Louisville, helping me get back and get right. But, I just got it plated, and I've had no issues since, and even last year.
During your long season at Louisville, Jeff Brom and the staff didn't really use your running ability that much, just kind of protect you, knowing your injury history. Is that the kind of style of play you bring to the field, or are you going to get back to more so your Texas Tech and all to run a lot of ways?
Yeah, I mean, I think I can get it done in multiple ways. Obviously there was a lot more design quarterback runs at Texas Tech. That just wasn't part of the offense at Louisville, and I think I excelled in both ways. Whether that's extending plays with my feet or creating plays and getting those first downs and getting down. I think the biggest thing in the NFL is your longevity and your availability. So I think it's critical, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win and get the first down. But at the same time, playing at Louisville, like you said, I didn't take very many sacks because I was more aware of my check down. I was more aware of how can I protect my body. And I think that was crucial for me, trying to just truck somebody on second or first down, you don't need to do that. But third down, fourth down, let's get it, and then let's keep moving. Yeah, it's a good question. On offense, man, I think Jalen Knowles is a guy who I've been working with in Dallas. He's got a lot of gas. He's a really good dude as well. He was really great for us, both Iowa State guys. All the Oregon boys that I was playing with, Terrence Ferguson and Tez, who's obviously he did a really good job. Gray Zabel had a really good connection with him and Jonah Monheim playing O-line. Defensive-wise, Jeffrey Bossa, he was a great leader at linebacker. So he did a really good job. Azariah Thomas is a name that comes to mind. It was a really lengthy DB that was good. I'm sorry? I'm not commenting on individual teams, man. I'm sorry, but.
Big Tyler, playing for Jeff Brom, what are some of the things that he's able to teach you and how to share with you as like a fellow?
Yeah, I mean, I think for somebody who plays the position, it's always great because he's been behind the face mask, so he coaches in the standpoint of, I maybe would have gone here, or I would have thrown it here instead of, why the F didn't you throw it there? What are you seeing? So he comes from it from the standpoint of, I would have done this, or I would have done that, or I see what you saw there. Same with Brian, and so that was really cool just because, they see that nickel kind of hanging around in that apex, and maybe I couldn't have fit that slant behind there, or I see that safety with his hips open. So that was a lot of fun, just getting to know him, and they both have different personalities, and I think I've had that benefit of playing on 5 different offenses and 5 different coordinators and picking different things from each guy and learning from it. So Isaac Brown, I think for him is obviously you saw his athleticism and speed, and I think he's only going to get better as he matures mentally. You know, he was already very, very mature coming in, very steady guy, and I think as he gets smarter in that playbook and keeps going, there's nothing that can stop him. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, we were down like 3 touchdowns. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, for me, it was. We had done it to ourselves, and I think that's a lot of time throughout that whole year. When you shoot yourselves in the foot, you know, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. But if you understand, you get back on track. And I was just trying to be positive that whole time and own my mistakes. And I think that's, you know, where I saw that personal growth. Where earlier on in my career, when I was 21, 22, you know, you don't really know what you don't know, and it's like you kind of have shortcomings as a leader and player as it happens. But how do you learn from that and grow from it? So I use those kind of experiences to understand you're going to have bad halves or bad games, but how can you kind of battle back from that? And I was really proud of the way that we finished just against a really good defense, and they were doing some good stuff to switch up some stuff from the front and coverage perspective. So I think I was just really proud about how everybody kind of bonded together, and I was just staying positive and owning it, and so that way we could fight back together. Yeah, I think for him, he's another guy who has transferred multiple places, you know, but he's really smart, and he's got all the physical tools. You know, I was talking about it with him last night. He's got all the tangibles and intangibles. So when he combines those two, I remember in practice, you know, trying not to throw against him, you know, and obviously I'm going to get work with every single guy, but I was definitely more aware of him as soon as I got there as time went on. So he was great, and, you know, we obviously bounce ideas off of each other, just what we're seeing. So he was a great asset to me, and hopefully I was to him, just to kind of practice and sharpen each other. Yeah, I mean, I think he was huge for me early on, just to kind of see that the physical attributes he had, the way he prepared. He was obviously a really good dude, and I think I've evolved, you know, over time into my own player. I think, you know, I was looking back at some Oregon clips, and I was like, how the heck did I throw like that? You know, just over the top, this, like, you know, really janky motion. And obviously he's got a cannon, but you got to kind of, like I was saying before, you mature into your own right and become a natural thrower, become more rotational. And, you know, I think I've become more whippy and been able to throw off platform and in different angles. But I think for me to come in right away and see how he did it, you know, and learn from that, and then kind of take it into my own right and try and become my own player and excel at that was huge for me. And definitely wouldn't have wanted it any other way. And obviously you see the success that he's had. Yeah, I think for me, you know, like I said before, the biggest thing for me was footwork coming in. You know, you're taking in the shotgun, you're only taking 3-step drops. You know, coming into Louisville, I'm taking gun 5 drops, 7-step drops from under center. You know, we're booting out, we're going, you know, hard sell play action, and how do you get depth? And so changing it up versus each team, versus on each down and each play, and how do you marry those drops to each one of them? So being more consistent with that, then also just sharpening it up. I think for me, I had an advantage coming in and playing in that offense, but just shoring it up throughout this whole process to make it look clean. And I think you'll see it whenever we throw, and the consistency with that, and then obviously going into the future. Yeah. I think I'm the best quarterback in this class. I think just the combination of what I've gone through mentally and experience-wise, and then in my physical tools. I think, you know, I played less ball, honestly, than some of the guys here, even though I'm older, just because of the situation that I've been in. So I feel like there's a lot of untapped potential for me. I feel like the sky's the limit, and, you know, I think what has happened in my past has only gave me that passion to keep going further. It's kind of lit this little fire underneath me that, you know, I want to go out there and compete and prove myself right, that, you know, I am one of the best guys. And I think if you watch the tape and watch what I can do, you'll see that a lot of great stuff and a lot of stuff that can improve. And I feel like that's the question is, you know, I feel like I have a high floor, but I have an even higher ceiling. I'm sorry, could you say that again?
like?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've been overall really great. I think it's been awesome just to kind of, just talk about every single offense that I've been in. They're pulling up clips from every single school. I think I've shown that the mental processing side of it, being able to recall those plays, talk about protections, talk about different adjustments that we had, talking about the run game, talking about different pass checks that we had. So I feel, like I said before, a lot more mentally ready to come into this process than I would have when I was 21 or 22, playing in only one or two offenses. So, like I said, it's only benefited me.
Tyler, you obviously played for a lot of coordinators before getting to Louisville, but how much did the Brom brothers specifically influence you in your progression to get to this point?
Yeah, I think both Jeff and Brian Brom, they were pivotal in my career just because they were former players. They believed in me first and foremost. They believed in that me to come in and lead the program off of, like I said before, a couple of bone breaks where there's a question mark on paper, but they understood, man, like. I've done that myself. David Blau broke his fibula. Justin Herbert broke his collarbone. I think everybody I've talked to as a quarterback has broken their collarbone. So they're just like, man, you're gonna be good. Like, we love what you do on tape. I'm super in debt to them just for what they do, what they've done, and they're phenomenal coaches. And I know they're gonna have a really good year this year, just kind of progressing.
In your early years, Marcus Arroyo was your OC. Obviously now, he's at Arizona State. You grew up in Arizona. You grew out of Arizona. So I know it was a while ago. Just how cool is it to kind of see obviously success and just see like that hometown team kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I think every Arizona kid wants to see those teams be successful just because, you grew up being a fan of them. Obviously, they had some down years in the past, but, it's super proud of them and obviously Coach Arroyo for what he's done. And he's a really good coach, and I know he's going to get them right, and he has. So I'm excited to see what they do.
Tyler, one of the quarterbacks has had multiple stops now with the lower end. Where is home?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because for Jordan, it's always going to be a dream.
Yeah.
What is home for you?
I think my home is Jordan, honestly. She's been kind of the only consistent thing through that. She's been helping me out, whether it's helping me shower and clean myself after surgery, just helping me talk through, plays. She's been helping me out through this whole process, learning offenses, talking me down, after some bad stuff happened. So I think obviously a piece of me was with each school, Oregon, Texas Tech, and Louisville. So I wouldn't be who I am without them. So I feel it's honestly a really hard question to be like, well, where does my loyalties lie? Because, I'm rooting for Oregon whenever they're playing. I'm rooting for Tech and all those guys. And obviously Louisville now that I've gotten to play them and know them. So.
What did you learn from competing against Justin Herbert?
Yeah. I think for me, like I said before, was coming in right away as a skinny freshman and seeing him as a big, physical athlete and throwing the ball 80 yards on the line. And I'm like, man, I got to get bigger once. And two, seeing his preparation and obviously getting smarter. So it was great just coming in and seeing that standard. And then now, you get to a point in your career where you're like, okay, I can do the same things that he's doing, or in sometimes hopefully better. And I feel like being able to kind of compare yourself to him, and obviously you don't compare yourself to others, but have that, that foundation of what a really good quarterback is.
Thanks, Tyler.
Yeah, thank you guys.